I am Bartholomew Oswald Samson Smith, but you can call me Boss. I am the one who stalks the stalkers, who fools the fools, and who reviews the reviewers. Today's episode is about the man who claims to be atop the fourth wall. You all know him as Linkara. In my last review, I had to find out that some reviewers actually don't use their real names.
And who is this now? That guy with the glasses. But who did I just review then? The nostalgia critic. But that's okay, they are both characters of Douglas Walker. Who?
I was already wondering if Mr. Joe's first name actually is Angry. But to play it safe this time, I instructed Professor Dr. Richard von Warnheim to investigate the name Linkara. Richard, come in please.
Guten Tag, Mr. Smith. What can I do for you?
I asked a while ago to research the name Linkara.
Yes, of course. Can you manage the background pictures so I can give the presentation? Sure, no thing. Perfect. The name Linkara first appeared in the Angel Armor series by Louis J. Loveck in 2003. It is the name of the predicted hero of a parallel magical reality who happens to be a teenager from our very Earth. Is something wrong, Mr. Smith?
There! You! Twice?
Yes. I have to control my background myself, since Dietrich has to run your screen.
Dietrich?
And funny fact, also I designed Dietrich to be one of the most powerful AIs in the whole world. I forgot to make him multitasking.
Oh, great. Now there's a smiley with subtitles on my screen. That's it. Smiley, go away. Richard in the background, leave the screen so I can pretend there's only one of you. Remaining Richard, finish your presentation.
Sure. Years after publishing his books, Louis started his blog 84W. At some point he started to refer to himself as Linkara, a tribute to his former creations, I guess.
So, what is the name of the guy who reviews the comic books all the time?
Louis Loveck, in his role as Linkara, named after the fictional character Linkara from the books Louis wrote as a teenager.
Right. Thanks a lot, Richard, for making things clear.
You are welcome, Mr. Smith. If you excuse me right now.
Okay, let's just keep calling him Linkara. You all know who I'm talking about, don't you? Anyways, can you imagine that there are people out there who claim that being bossy is not essential for a good reviewer? Well, later on I am going to prove this wise guy's wrong. But first things first, let's rate Linkara. Starting as usual with the voice.
I am a man!
Nothing to add here. 5 points. Appearance. He got glasses, a jacket, and I am quite impressed with his stature. No beard, no tie. But this head is really pretty. I guess I have to give him a bonus point for this one. This makes a total of 4 points. Well, Linkara is doing pretty well so far. But these were the easy categories. Let's see how he'll do in influence. Well, he was involved in the Kick-Ass incident, but only as a tactician for the Revolutionary Army. He also saves the world once in a while from his archenemy Dr. Insano or some interdimensional conqueror. But please, who doesn't?
Well, Sonny, I guess there's only one thing left to do.
You're totally right, Andy. Let's do it! Hi,
Hey, alien!
Happy Independence
Over here!
Day!
Look at the Earthling!
That's 3 points max. So, what are his powers? He has his magical gun and all the other mystical and technological items. But all the powers come from these items. So his own power is only the ability to wield all the things. Okay, and he can I'm a Man punch things. But that's also not worth more than 3 points altogether. So, let's check the final score. 75%. I cheated him out of as many points as I could, and he still got this many. I need to make this test more difficult. Got you there! Like I require cheating. I'm such a joker. But if you have any ideas how to make this evaluation more interesting, feel free to leave a comment.
Well played, sir.
Thank you, Bob. As I promised earlier, I am going to prove that being bossy is all you need to be a good reviewer. And I am as bossy as you can be. So, I am going to do what Linkara does. I am going to review a comic book. And it will be awesome. To the futon!
Is something supposed to happen?
I was hoping for some kind of transition. You know, my problem to stand up in front of people.
Ah, how insensible of me. Dietrich, can you take care of this?
Dietrich? Nicely done. Thanks, Bob and Dietrich. Whose onions this might be.
You're welcome, sir. Don't take it personally. We tried to explain, but you know him.
Okay, let's do this right. Hello and welcome to B.O.S.S Reviews a Comic Book, where, well, I review a comic book. Let's dig into this pile of comics I confiscated from Sunny earlier this day. This will do. Today's subject is Danger Girl #1. I have no idea when it was published and I don't know anything about the artist or the publisher. And I couldn't care less. I just picked it because... I have honestly no idea why I picked this one. Actually, it was the first one featuring something more dramatic than mice in pink suits. On a second thought, this cover isn't as impressive either. In the front we've got the 3 silky models who can't decide if they're posing or in the middle of an actual action scene. Do you notice these little details that try to suggest us there's dynamic? And what's up with the back? I admit, just showing only a slice of a face has a nice dramatic touch to it. But 7 times one below the other. And if I would have read this comic book already, I could tell you that the 2 characters on top aren't even introduced in this issue. But let's move on. The first page we get is black and white and features previously in the pages of Danger Girl. I haven't even reached the first panel and I'm already lost. Well, if I would have done any research before this review, I eventually would have found out that there actually is an issue #0. What a perfidious trick! Anyways, all this retrospect tells us is that there is a girl named Abby fighting cardboard cutout creepy villain over a run-of-the-mill golden skull artifact. There are some explosions, girls in a helicopter, and a used up falling off the cliffhanger. The actual plot of this book starts with a but, followed by this guy. I have to admit, if it wasn't for this tasteless shirt, this guy would be awesome. Glasses, stature, and a little bit of a beard. Too bad he leaves us with this lame jokes. Any questions? Just one. You are not talking to me through this damn pineapple again, are you? Of course not. And don't worry about Abby. I can assure you she always steers clear of trouble. I'm getting the feeling you'll have to do this a lot today. And so we pick up at the falling off the cliff cliffhanger from the previous issue, which Abby solves by just jumping out of the car. Well, why not? We cut to the villain from the retrospect, monologuing about how great he is, how he killed Abby, and how irresistible he is for women, before he breaks into maniac laughter. Boy, does this guy get anything right from the list. Then Abby pulls a stunt with a convenient placed harpoon to get herself attached to Creepy Villain's escape boat. We are reminded that the girls in the helicopter are still there, and the villain continues monologuing until he gets shut up by Eddie, literally with a punchline. You step out of the plane and the beautiful babe puts a wet one right on your cheek. Like this? Some out-of-nowhere action later, we are atop the obligatory waterfall when Creepy Villain overpowers Abby and he gloats. Ooh, Donovan, behind you! But instead of ducking, just shooting the girl, or at least turning around, he just gloats a bit more until he turns around anyway and gets kicked in the face. Oh, look, a bald head joke. Very classy. But then Abby discovers a woman dressed even saucier than herself hanging from a helicopter. What is she so stunned about? She clearly saw the woman on the previous page, or else she couldn't have told Creepy Willem to look behind him. But on the other hand, we are talking about the woman who has to think first about getting rescued from certain deaths. And so the Danger Girls leave the scene, letting Creepy Willem fall to his doom. Damn you, Abby! Well, he sure was a pathetic villain. Let's recap all the rules he managed to get wrong in the short time we knew him. He easily felt attracted to his enemies. He also didn't show the necessary amount of skepticism when his enemies suddenly claimed to be attracted to him as well. All this goes perfectly along with his lack of realistic assessment of his strengths and weaknesses. He also tended to maniac laughter and gloating, and he did not know how to react properly in the behind you situation. May he rest in peace. At this point the comic takes a break in the middle of the action just to continue immediately. And so will I. Tune in to the second part of my review by pushing this button.